want to make this video for anyone who is considering buying a motorcycle. If you don't want to watch the whole video, the short answer is buy one if you want to. The long answer is gonna explain why I think you should buy one. First of all, if you actually want a motorcycle, make sure you want it and it's not just, your friends convincing you, saying, hey, it'd be so cool if we all rode together in motorcycles and pulled up in car meets and did 160 on the highway and roll race and all that bullshit. Like, make sure you actually want it for you, not for how people around you will think about you if you had a motorcycle. So make sure you legitimately want one. I grew up always loving anything with the motor. I grew up loving bicycles, and as soon as I could go to an electric scooter, I asked for one for Christmas and I got it, and I was so happy. And then I wanted more, because it was slow. I went like 15 miles an hour. I was like, I need like 30, 40, 50. So I was probably around 13 or 14 when I got my first vehicle with an engine in it, and it was a little 49cc 2-stroke X2 pocket bike, and that thing was so fun. Around this time, I was finding lawnmowers and weed whackers that people were throwing away, and I would take them and I would fix them, and I would learn how the carburetors work, and I would fix them up and then I would sell them, and I would do that a lot. That was kind of what brought me purpose and what also brought me enjoyment. It was fun. And anyways, I had that pocket bike. I picked it up for $125, and I ended up selling it maybe in a year or two. I wanted something bigger. At the time, Coleman had just come out with these 196cc mini bikes, classic Coleman red mini bike. It was based off like the Doodlebug Baja. On one of those, it was used for like $200 or $300. The money I had from selling the old one and a bit of money I'd saved up, I think I got that one to about like 35 miles an hour. I ended up selling that. I think it was a couple years of buying and selling like small mini bikes and like pit bikes and like nothing that had a clutch or gears. It was just like you pull and it goes. But I had a neighbor who had a 2-stroke. He had a KX85. Once I saw that and heard how it sounded, I was like, I need something like this. Like, I fell in love with 2-strokes way more. And so fast forward a couple years of buying and selling stuff, I had a job I got when I was like 15 or 16. I had a car, but I saved up some money and I bought an Apollo, a 125cc pit bike off Amazon for like $800 at the time, brand new. And that was my first bike that actually looked like a dirt bike. It had a clutch, it had 4 gears, it had kickstart. It was like a dirt bike, So I felt cool as fuck on this thing at like 16. Keep in mind where I lived was very, it was city, so I was just riding everything pretty much on the street and in like grassy fields, sidewalks, stuff like that. So it was more street riding. I didn't grow up in the motocross. I had so much fun with that bike, and I ended up, I was running in some sugar sand, and I ended up throwing 3rd gear out. So I lost 3rd gear. I was like, fuck. So I put it up for sale, and this guy, an hour and a half, 2 hours away from me, he hits me up and he's like, trade? I was like, what you got? I got a mini bike. I was like, tell me more, So we get to talking, and he ends up driving down here. He had a Doodlebug with a 212, and I think he gave me like some extra motor, some extra parts. But he had modified the engine a little bit, so that thing was crazy, and I had so much fun with it. But yeah, I got up to 62 miles an hour, and that thing was crazy. It hauled. It was so reliable. And this was when like everyone was discovering Predator engines, and it was just crazy. It was like you have this 6.5 horsepower Honda clone that can hit like 12, 13, 14, 15 horsepower off some pretty basic modifications. It's like, wow. At this point, all my friends were getting into bikes too, and we would like ride around together, and it was like, it wasn't street legal. We were all just fucking around. We'd ride in the neighborhood and stuff like that. But I had been like flipping these on and off, kind of selling stuff off Facebook Marketplace to make some extra money and have fun. And anyways, I saved up for a KX100, and this was like a 2 or 3 hour drive. It was crazy. It was a 2018, and this is like a full-on dirt bike. That thing hauled. It went like 70, 75 miles an hour, completely stock gearing. That's where, once again, I had more love for bikes. And this is where I think my mom realized he's not going to stop. This isn't something he's going to grow out of. My mom has known people who have, you know, had bad accidents. So she has this on her mind, like, oh, you know, find another hobby type of thing. But it's something I love, so I'm not going to stop doing it. It brings me joy. Anyways, I ended up getting a Rebel 250, and I didn't tell my mom. I had it in my friend's house, like on the side of his house. This time, my engine blew, so I had to sell the car for very cheap. I was kind of down on cash, so I was just trying to find a reliable, street legal bike. So that's what that was. Long story short, Mom didn't approve. She said, if you get a bike, you're not living here. And I was like, well, I already have a bike, so I guess that tells me what I need to know. And I ended up selling that bike. I did a bunch of flips with like smaller mini bikes and pit bikes and dirt bikes. And I saved up for a 2008 CRF 450R. Good old Honda, biggest dirt bike they make, pretty much. There's a CR500, if you know, you know. Before that, I had like a Suzuki Cruiser. It was like an 800cc. It was a V-twin. It was a nice bike. So the 450, this is a bike that is the reason I'm in a chair now. I have some stuff coming up now, like this guy right here. It's gonna be a little drift quad. I got a lot of stuff to have fun with and show you guys, you know, me building stuff, but everything goes to say, if I could do it all again, I would, and if I could walk tomorrow, I'd be riding a bike tomorrow too. It's a feeling I don't think you can get really anywhere else besides like hard drugs. Because I don't know how to explain it. If you get a bike, don't be a dumbass, you know? Wear a helmet. Wear a helmet. Wear gear if you're going extremely fast. You should always wear gear, but I know a lot of other people who have been in motorcycle accidents who, some are walking, some are not with me anymore, some are in wheelchairs, some are in power chairs, and you can have full gear and be on a very safe bike and not be here anymore, and you can also have a really crazy crash and be walking. So at the end of the day, you have to know your risks. There is a chance for something to happen or a bad crash. You know, just because we think it can't happen doesn't mean it won't happen. Because in a second, it can go from, your life can completely change. So keep that in mind. Also, don't be one of those dudes that starts out on like a leader bike for your first bike, trying to just be super fast right out the gate, or be impressing someone, or just have, oh, I drive a leader bike, that's my first bike. Don't be that dude. Get a good like grasp on the fundamentals of your bike and gears and clutch and turning and handling before you go searching for more power. I don't know what else to say really. I have a half a terabyte of like videos on this thing that I have to edit. Looking forward to it. So yeah, if you want to buy a motorcycle, buy one. Just know the risk, have fun, try to be safe, and I think that's it. I don't know. Everyone will give you a different answer, you know. Some people say, oh, I had a buddy die and I stopped riding, I sold my bike. I understand that. At the end of the day, you are going to be the one riding. You are living for yourself. This life you live is yours, meaning you should do what you want with it. I'm going to be back on a bike soon. It's just probably going to have 4 wheels, and nothing wrong with that. There's this really cool thing called a Banshee, and I see it in my future. So yeah, I really just want to, you know, inspire, build things, and teach people, motivate people. So yeah, that's that.